Go live.
Y'all ready to roll? It's time for the remix. It's time to see that dude parlay Amadeus Lane and DEEZ GLP-1 STREETZ. Known by many as Paul on wheels. We making it do what it does. Letting people know how I feel. Let's roll. Yeah, we talking health, talking grind, breaking barriers clean. No excuses on the journey, we stay chasing the dream. Get your mind locked in, set your goals on repeat. We got ups, we got downs, but we still don't miss a beat. In GLP-1 streets, we moving with pride. Hear the trends, hear the wins. Got creators worldwide, we make it do what it does. Never stopping to climb, living better every day, one step at a time. Shout out RMZ, always keeping it real. It's Dairy on with the fire, got that GLP-1 feel. Diddy the downsizing diva, simply Taisha in the zone. Losing it grades, bring the truth, steady holding her own. Calamity Jane slide through, yeah, she bringing the flame. Perfectly Pamela moving strong, everybody know her name. Pammy in the mix too, yeah, we shout her out the same. Teddy D and Toby rolling steady on the rise. G's one running balls, baby, locked in on that lifestyle prize. Traces of twine, stay consistent every day. Cookie cheering everybody on in a special way. Maya Mindy holding it down from the start. Purple bell flowers slid into them jeans, stood apart. Held to the beat, keeping the conscience tight. Bar pelt at any cost, queen of the streets. That's right, yeah. Chris conquering the scale, yeah, he taking control. Life is shy, glowing steady, body and soul. Reset with honey sub, keeping focus aligned. Grant on his GLP-1 journey review, dropping knowledge every time. Paula doing the thing, staying strong, staying locked in, pushing right along. Just do it, Brit. You got it, smart. Don't quit. It gets better bit by bit. Ain't me losing it steady, keeping a stride. Founding me in the mix with that purpose and pride. Jen supporting the crew, showing love front row. Carnival muscle bringing discipline to the flow. Healy Eddie from across the sea. Alonda pushing through, never quitting the seat. My man G with my rolling life on track. Sweet tea singing while she dropping that slack. Vanity keeping everybody on their toes. Welcome TT to the club, that's how it goes. This toy to review, teaching in the classroom in the streets. Mia doing a thing with that grind on repeat. From the south, Kimmy J, now Renee 1C. Lakeisha on the journey, chasing victory. Those is a Shawnee, steady making play. And Jen in the comments, dropping knowledge every day. And if I missed anybody, just know I love y'all. We'll put you in a remix one day. We'll put you in a remix one day. Yeah. Arjadine, Felicia, Murray B, and Joe's cross the sea. Yeah, this GLP-1 movement hits globally. We stay focused on the prize, on the light that we see. Welcome to DEEZ GLP-1 STREETZ.
And welcome. What is up? Welcome to DEEZ GLP-1 STREETZ. I am Paul Amadeus Lane, and I'm so delighted to have you on this show today. Why? We are joined with the person that I think is a welcome disruption in these GLP-1 streets because she keeps it 100. She's compassionate. She has a lot of love, but she tells you like it is. And you know me, I'm here for that because dealing with the problems that we've been dealing with, we need some tough love and we need the facts. So I'm so delighted to be welcoming the one, the only Vaniti in just a moment. But before I do, like to welcome everyone in the chat. What is up, everybody? Thank you so much. The chat is going right now. So I wanted to make sure that everyone see that we're showing some love out there. And thank y'all for being a part of this amazing, amazing program. I've been wanting to interview this person for a very, very long time. When I reached out to her, I didn't know what kind of reception I was going to get. I thought she was going to say, boy, I ain't got no time for you. But no, she had time for me. And I am so delighted to be able to talk with her about her journey. So who am I? My name is Paul Amadeus Lane. You can call me Paul on Wheels. If you notice by my little, I guess, image at the bottom, I use a power wheelchair. I've been using a power wheelchair longer than Miss Vanity been alive because she's about to turn another decade pretty soon, but I've been in this chair longer than she's been alive. But that's me and my story. Been on the GLP-1 since February 14th, 2025. I have lost close to 80 pounds. So My goal is to get into Wonderland. I do want to be 199. I want to have the skinny face. I want to be like, that's what I want to do. I just want to see how I look in the 199. I haven't been 199 since a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. That's how long it's been that since I have been 199. I think I was like in fifth grade. I was like a big kid. My mom called me husky or healthy. Y'all got relatives used to call us healthy, we overweight, healthy. But that's me. I hopefully hit my Wonderland mark of losing 100 pounds. Hopefully, I do that by the end of spring. And then right now, I have about less than 70 something pounds to go. I started off at 348. My biggest weight, I was almost 400 pounds during the pandemic. I will show you all Thick Paul one day. Thick Paul was healthy. I'm going to show you a picture. That might even do it while I'm talking to Vanity, but it's not about me. It's her time. So thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. If you're new to my channel, if you wouldn't mind, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And likewise, you're watching me on my channel, Vanity streaming it on her channel. So if you're not subscribed to Vanity, make sure you do that. But without any further delay, let's welcome the woman herself, my guest of honor, Vanity's in the house. Vanity, what's going on? How you
Hi.
doing?
Paul, did you
Was
call
that
me a disruptor?
a good disruption? Good disruption. A good one. And the reason why I say that, I dibble and dabble in the tech world, and that's kind of a term we use when something is needed because the status quo just ain't working. So I mean that.
Mhm.
Nothing but love, Vanity. Nothing but love. How you doing
Okay,
today?
okay. I am good, feeling energetic after my gym session, and I'm happy to be here.
So what did you do today in your gym session, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, you're gonna make me talk about it. No,
Yeah.
today was my pull day, so I had to do some chest and some shoulders. And my trainer doesn't know it, but I'm sneaking in a little extra glutes on my non-leg days as well.
That's one thing I noticed about glutes. I got the Ozempic booty, Vanity. I
Very
mean,
much, yeah, 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 yeah.
but I ain't never had none to begin with, so I guess I could blame it on it now, right?
It's
That's
important.
That's what I could do. But hey, welcome again. And I really wanted to have this discussion with you. Now, for ones out there who may not be familiar with your story, if you wouldn't mind letting us know what led you to these GLP-1 streets, what made you want to get on this medication and kind of like your struggle with just trying to live a healthy lifestyle. And if you don't mind sharing that with us first.
Yeah, so thank you for having me and hello to everyone in the chat. So I have been overweight my entire life. I've been obese my entire adulthood. I'm 29, so I haven't been an adult that long. But I've pretty much struggled with my weight and yo-yo dieting my entire life. I have had some success in the past with keto and fasting, but I those things really just never stuck for me, not because they didn't work, but just because they weren't sustainable for me in the long term. Plus, I was dealing with some pretty bad habits. So I found out about these GLP-1 streets about 18, maybe 19 months ago, almost 2 years ago. I was actually at my highest weight of 242 pounds and I couldn't find clothes that fit anymore. And because I'm vain, very, very vain, that was the signal that I needed to lose weight. Never mind the fact that I was in pain and obese and all of these other different things, pre-diabetic. The fact that I couldn't fit any clothes was the last straw. So I decided to go back to my usual methods of fasting to start losing weight again. And I lost 10 pounds on my own. But I had this idea that, well, when I'm finally done losing weight, and this time I'm going to go all the way, I thought I wanted to get lipo. So I was searching for a plastic surgeon to prepare a year in advance. I figured it was going to take me about a year to get the weight off. And then, if I had any problem areas, I can target those areas with some lipo. So I was looking for a plastic surgeon, and one of the plastic surgeon or surgery clinics that I found had a weight loss program that mentioned semaglutide and tirzepatide. I had never heard of those things. I believe I heard of Ozempic in passing, but didn't really know what it was or what it was for, so I didn't really care. But when I saw that weight loss program, I pretty much fell down the rabbit hole of YouTube and the celebrities that were on Ozempic and then the regular average people that were on Manjaro fell way, 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 way down the rabbit hole. And it just seemed very simple that this was going to be the answer for me. Like there was not a second thought in my mind, despite the side effects that people were afraid of, despite the challenges. It wasn't a second thought. So 18 months ago, I decided to take the leap. Started out with compounded epatide, eventually moved on to branded Zepbound. Now, to come to the present, my struggles have been dealing with horrible habits, dealing with my standard American diet, dealing with accountability. And I've just taken all of this time to kind of be honest with myself about what role I played in getting to 242 pounds in the first place. So that's pretty much my story and where I am now. And I'm 83 pounds down now of 100. My goal is 100 pounds.
Congratulations. I mean, when I first started watching your video, I think that's when you first got on the OG's app. Because I remember you did a video about it came in the mail and you were looking at it. That's my first time I watched the video. And I was like, was that last year sometime, Vanity?
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm digging her. Your style, your swagger, and I'm like, all right, this is cool. This is cool. Because sometimes in these GLP-1 streets, no shade to anyone when they put their content out there, but it was more like, hey, I'm a CNR man. Look at me, I'm this and that. And I'm like, I want some grits and gravy and some black eyed peas kind of talking. You know what I mean? And that's what was missing in our space. And then I came across RMZ's channel, and then others out there who were, putting a nice little flair to it. I'm like, okay, this is what missing because Vanity, when we get a hold of something, we remix it in a way that it'll never be the same. And then
Hmm.
people try to copy and duplicate it and they just ain't got the swagger. But I appreciate you the way you came out and just told your story as we look at some of the things that you tried, because I know I tried the keto, the carnivore. I didn't been a a weekend vegetarian.
Mm.
I didn't did a lot of stuff just to try to come to grips with this. And this has been the only one for me that I've been sticking with. I've been over a year, feeling great, and it's just been an amazing ride. When you started to go down that rabbit hole, did you ever think that I don't wanna do it because of all the bad side effects that I'm hearing about. Did you have to kind of talk yourself into it? Or were you like game, like, hey, I'm down, let's do it?
No, there was no doubt. I'm an information junkie. And what I mean by that is once I um am attracted to something as far as like research, I will binge watch, binge listen, binge read. I will try to get my hands on any source of information that is out there. So I'm more of an auditory learner. So a lot of my information gathering came from interviews and people's personal experiences and whatever videos I can find and things like that. So there was no doubt for me in the beginning. Now, if there was any doubt, the slightest bit that was wiped away was my doubt regarding compound. But even then, it was like a blip in the overall experience. Like, yeah, I was game from the beginning. There was no doubt.
When you look at where you're at today and when you started this journey, how much have you changed? I know you talked about looking at what made you get to what your biggest weight was and your accountability and everything did. What was the light that went on that snapped and you're like, okay, I'm gonna flip the script and I'm gonna do it this way now?
Okay. So I got really sick due to my diet and my weight in like 2018 or something like that. That's when I discovered that was the first time I experienced, okay, something has to change, and I discovered keto and fasting. I was able to get, I think, 20, 30 pounds off. I was successful. I kept it off until the pandemic in 2020. I started to regain the weight because I stopped doing what worked for me, which was the fasting. Eventually, I would say over the next 4 years, I would lose and regain the same 20 pounds over again. So over and over again. So I would gain 20 pounds. I'd feel like I'm too heavy. My clothes don't fit. I'm about to go on a trip. I'd fast, lose the 20 pounds. Come back from the vacation, go back to what I was doing, regain it. I did this back and forth for about 3 to 4 years until 1 year, which was 2023 going into 24. This particular year, I just couldn't, after my usual 20-pound regain, I just couldn't get back on track. Like I just couldn't pull the trigger on, like, you know what to do, stop eating. Like, I know that might sound offensive to some people, but that was my strategy. You know what to do, fast, and you'll be fine. 20 pounds turned into 25, 25 turned to 30, 30 turned to 40. And it was just like the more weight I gained, the more depressed I became. And it was just hard to pull myself out of this cycle. And honestly, I'm being dead serious when I say the thing that pulled me out of it is I was going to Mexico like I do every year, and I was shopping on my, my usual site to get my swimwear, and they only had two options, two or three options for me at my size. I needed like a 4X bikini or swimsuit or something like that, and they only had about three or four options, and they were all ugly. I know that's vain. I know. And I was it made me feel insecure because it was like, how could you let yourself go to the point where like you have very limited options? Like what is happening here? So eventually, like I did. When that happened, I did pull the trigger on the fasting, but I was so far gone that by the time I discovered GLP-1s, it was just like, you know what, just switch gears. Like, yeah, I could keep going with the fasting. I'm already 10 pounds down, but this is going to be faster. And I already know what happens with the fasting. I'm going to stop. I already know what's on the other end of that path. I'm going to get the weight off, like 20 pounds of it, and then I'm going to stop and gain it back. So let's go this other route and try to address the hormones. That's really what happened.
That definitely makes sense. Thank you for sharing that as well. Thank you, everyone in the chat. How's everybody doing? We'll say hi to everybody. We'll show some chats in a minute. Just wanted to do, talk to Vanity in the beginning and really dive into her story. And if you can, please hit that like, comment on this. And if you don't mind, if you wouldn't mind sharing this, because Vanity and I, we both kind of vain, and we love stuff, we love views, and if you can share this out, we really really appreciate that. When you were on this GLP journey in the beginning, GLP-1 journey in the beginning, I know, like for me, I made a lot of mistakes because I really didn't know what I was getting into. I went to the doctor, they put me on a wheelchair scale, and they're like, "Hey, we got to do something about it." And I'm like, "What you gonna do about it?" I didn't know nothing about no Zep. What I thought it was gonna be Ozempic, and then 2 weeks later, I got my first pen, took it right away. I didn't do any research about my diet or anything. I was just like, "Okay, I'm taking this. I'm not supposed to eat that much and do this and that." And then I was like malnourished the first month, and then I was like, I need to find out what I'm doing. And that's when I went to the University of YouTube. That's when I found all the creators talking about the protein and all that. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So I finally get it now. What was your journey like in the beginning? Did you do your research on know what to eat, know what to hydrate, and all these other things? Or were you like me and was like, okay, I'm just gonna take a shot and that's it?
Yes. So a part of that rabbit hole was getting into what I like to call some of the OG content creators. So that would be David on the Pen, Countess of Shopping, Brittany Rose, GLP-1, I think is her name, Allie at Fit Flavor Fun. A lot of the people that were on Manjaro before I started Compound Appetite and they were making content. Actually, I think Allie, that might be an exception. I think she might have started right before me, but she was far enough ahead that I could, learn from her experience. But the people that had already like maxed out on the 15 milligram, they were, very detailed for me to kind of look at their experience and be like, okay, don't do that, do that, don't do that. Okay, do that. One of the biggest criticisms that I saw from the mainstream media was the losing of the muscle or the looking gaunt or uh Ozempic face and Ozempic butt. And it's like, okay, so you mitigate that by what? Making sure you eat enough? I mean, that should be simple enough. I thought. So I thought. So the biggest concern that I went into it with was no matter what you do, be careful when you decide to titrate up because you don't want to max out too fast. And no matter what you do, make sure you eat enough. And that was it.
When you talk about the titration up, this was me right here. I stayed on 2.5 for 2 months. I was on 5 milligrams for about 4 months, 7.5 for 2 months, and then my healthcare team was like, "Your insurance is not gonna cover this no more
Oh.
for obesity, so Imma titrate you up to 10 milligrams for the next 3 months so you can get your more bang for your buck." So I'm like, "Okay," but if it wasn't for that, I would've still hung out in 7.5, but 7.5, it did it for me. So when I found out I was losing my coverage, I tried to appeal and everything, then I went to the compound route, bought 6 months worth of compound route. Guess what? A month later, my appeal went through. So I'm back on Zepbound. So I have all this compound. So I'm like, what do I do? What do I
Mm.
do with this? So I was like, stack. So I'm stacking them chips now. Stacks on stacks on stacks, Vanity. So I will never run out again. So I'm back on 10 milligrams. But your story really impresses me because you went up to 10 and then you went back down to 7.5. And that really resonated with me because I'm like, maybe my next 3 months supply, I may try to go back down to 7.5 because 7.5 was doing it for me. And for
Mhm.
some of the ones out there who didn't see your live or watch your content when you decided to take that step back to 7.5, you mind sharing why you decided to do that?
It's a I get so emotional thinking about the 10 milligram because I had mixed feelings about that dose. And like I said, like I was telling you before the stream started, I've been listening back to some of my old content. And even when I talked about the 10 milligram before, like months ago, I had been complaining about this dose for a while before I decided to do anything about it. So when I first got on it, I was coming off of being on a 7.5 for almost a year. I was on a 7.5 for 8 months. It was about 5 months on compound, and I didn't lose any weight, and then I switched to branded Zepbound vials, stayed at the 7.5 milligram dose because I was afraid to titrate up to the 10, and then I lost some weight. Eventually stopped losing weight, went up to the 10. My initial reaction to the 10 milligram was like, "Okay, I don't feel any different," and then that quickly turned into, "Whoa, this is different." It was like, "What is food? Do we have to eat? I really don't want to. I mean, I'm okay if I don't eat." There were days where I would forget to eat. At one point, I forgot to eat for a day and a half, and a 36-hour fast intentionally is not the biggest deal in the world to me, but the sheer lack of like remembering you need to eat something was just it was crazy to me. And no matter how hard I tried, I struggled to get enough food. The other thing was the more weight I lost on the 10 milligram, the more it seemed like the dose was too strong for me. And that had never happened at any other dose. Like, typically the longer you take a dose, the more you adapt to it. And then maybe for some people, eventually it's not as effective for you. So then you titrate up. Well, this was the opposite. The longer I stayed on a dose, I would lose weight, but like the symptoms were getting worse. So the fatigue, the lack of appetite. I talked about anhedonia on my channel with Dave. If you don't know what that is, it's essentially the short version is it's like losing your interest in the things that you used to enjoy in life. And once I realized that I was having that experience on a 10 milligram after 6, 7 months, maybe 8 months of being on it, I just decided it wasn't worth it anymore. The weight loss was okay. It wasn't any necessarily more significant than a 7.5 milligram. It was okay at best, but the mood disorder that I was, having symptoms of and the not being able to eat, I was unhappy at that dose. So I made the decision to titrate down to see if I could get my energy back so that I can go to the gym, to see if I can get my appetite back so that I can eat and get my protein in. And it actually ended up working for me.
I'm glad it did because I can imagine, not really feeling yourself and dealing with the anhedonia and all the other things had to be quite challenging, to deal with. And when you started to titrate down, that's when I started to come out of the bushes and I started commenting in your live and everything because Dr. Jen was like, "Paul, if you this ain't like this is a different chat right here. We hold people accountable." I was like, "Cool, I'm here for it." So
Mhm.
one thing that I really appreciated about you when you titrated down, you shared just some of the, I guess, things that were happening until the dose fully got into your system. And when you titrated down, how long did it take for you to really get comfortable at 7.5? You're like, okay, this is it right here. I'm all good. Everything seems to be working correct, and this is where I'm at.
I noticed I was good at about 4 weeks, so my 4th dose. The first dose, I thought I had made a terrible mistake. I did. Now, before actually transitioning to the 7.5, I had decided I know food noise is going to come back. I know the hunger is going to come back. I don't know to what degree, but I know I'm going to deal with some of that and even some weight gain. So I'll give myself about a 5 pound buffer before I start to panic because I still have, at that time, 20 pounds to lose. So I'm like, I can't afford to regain 10, 15, 20 pounds before I do something. So I was willing to risk it for a biscuit. And when I took my first shot, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I messed up." It was immediate. Like, it was day 7 from my last dose of the 10 milligram. Actually, I didn't take my last dose of the 10 milligram. I still have it to this day. But I took my first shot and my brain was so loud. It was awful. And it lasted the whole week. I overate the whole week. I went from eating about 800 to 1100 calories to 2000, 2200, 2400 calories. Um, and that lasted for about 2 weeks until I gained back 4 pounds and I was like, "Okay, that's enough." And I just had to stop what I was doing and reevaluate how I was eating. And then, I proceeded to take my shot every 6 days, and then I was able to get adjusted to my dose.
Nice. Every 6 days. I love that. We got some questions in the chat,
Sure.
so we'll definitely get the questions out first. And hello to everyone in the chat.
Hello.
Twan, good to see you. Cookie J, good to see you. Vanity, if I miss anybody coming to the chat, let's shout them out. Cause you know how we get when we don't get the shout out. So who else
I
we need to
got
shout out in
you.
the chat?
Hey, Shonda, Reindeer. I see you guys. Hello, hello. I can't see everyone. Hi, Cheese. How you doing? I know Jen was here. She's walking the dog. Um, Nia, Cheryl, Linda. Hello, me. Hello to all of you. I think I got everyone. Nicole. Yeah. And
Yeah.
doses of Shawnee.
Yeah. And if we miss anybody,
And
I
Grant,
love
of course.
y'all.
Grant has the question.
Yeah, I love y'all, and I'll put you in a remix one day. I promise. I'll definitely do that. So, first question. If you have any questions, hit it with a triple Q. First question, Miss V, is when you
ML.
say
I'm sorry, ML. I missed you. Hi,
yes,
ML.
if we miss anybody, please shout us out. We definitely do that. And we got a new subscriber. Thank you, thank you. I don't know if it's a subscriber to me or subscriber to Vanity. Whoever you subscribe to, it's all love. We definitely appreciate it.
Hello, hello.
Here we go, Miss V. When you say you fasted all these times, do you mean you wouldn't eat for another 36 hours at a time?
When I used to fast for weight loss prior to being on a GLP-1, sometimes it was 24 hours, oftentimes it was 36 hours, sometimes it was 48 hours, sometimes it was just, intermittent fasting, so 18, 20 hours. It varied, but my favorite range was 24 to 36 hours.
Okay, cool. Appreciate that. All right. So
Thank you for the question, Grant.
this is what I'm thinking now, Vanity. I think you have started up a good conversation with titrating up too fast, as well as knowing when to go back down. Because sometimes we white knuckle it, bare knuckle it, say, I'm just gonna keep on this 10 milligrams, even though I feel like I just blah blah blah. I'm still gonna do it. But I'm glad you decided to do that because I think that this community is so close knit that we look for guidance from the community. And your
Mhm.
story, no doubt, is going to help ones to reassess things. Okay, well, let me fall back. I've had a little bit of anhedonia, and you can let me know if this is what I have. I used to love some tahini gummy bears, and now I just don't desire to have them. And I chalk that up as just food noise quieting. But is it food noise or is it anhedonia?
I would say well, it could be a little bit of both. I would say it's more so probably just food noise quieting, but like Dave mentioned on our stream, um, Zepbound and tirzepatide is described by Eli Lilly as an anti-hedonic medication, meaning and hedonic or hedonic essentially means pleasure, right? So in essence, tirzepatide is an anti-pleasure medication. it's only natural that the things that we used to like, we start to be maybe somewhat indifferent to. And I think that that's okay to an extent. It becomes a problem when it goes beyond just like, oh, I don't want the candy, or I don't want the soda as much, or I don't want the cigarette as much. When you can't get out of bed, you don't want to do the dishes, you don't want to work out, you don't want to go to work, you don't want to hang out. You're kind of indifferent to everything. That is where I think that anhedonia is more of like an accurate, depiction of what a person might be experiencing.
All right. I appreciate that. I mean, are you a bookworm? Because I mean, the way that you explain things, are you an analyst in your day job? You do numbers? Because I'm just intrigued just of your amount of knowledge. You're student of something. I mean, I don't want to get too nosy, but you are that's what caught my eye. When I started watching your content, I was like, she know what she talking about.
Mhm.
She's not like Judge Judy would say a lot of who shot John. You actually you actually research this stuff, and that's why your voice to me is really really needed in these streets. So thank you so much for sharing it, because I've learned a lot just watching your live. Even though we have a lot of fun, we laugh a lot. I mean, you really educate us. And I've said this before. In working in the media, I've managed like on air staffs and reporters, announcers. The way that you can control an audience, the way you can have an audience just grab onto your words, something tells me you got some communication um, education too. But yeah. All right.
I
I'm
No,
and
I was just gonna say before you get to the question, I don't have any sort of professional training or degree or anything like that. I joke and say I just be running my mouth, but as far as being a bookworm, like not necessarily reading, but I do like to listen to books. Like I'm more of an audiobook type of learner, videos. And like I said, once I'm interested in something, it's kind of hard to get it out of my grasp. So I will retain a lot of information at once. And yeah, especially when you have the experience yourself, and you wanna know what's going on, yeah, so I do a lot of research, but yeah, I just be running my mouth, Paul.
I mean, you do good at it. And you and G's, I get a lot because G's running a pharmacy. G's know a lot about that. And for the life of me, I don't understand why you and G's are not like 50,000 subscribers strong, because you all educate us in a way that really makes a lot of sense. So I'm hoping we can change the narrative. The more content we put out there, that ones can see what we're
Mhm.
talking about and everything. But I just wanted to give you props on that. Positive T, my man, TT is in the house. T, did you ever share those new edition pictures and videos like we asked you to? I'm sorry, like we asked you to. You know,
X.
Here
Yep.
we go. Here's the question, Vanity. Vanity, do you think you ever go to back to 10 milligrams?
Um, Not if I don't have to. I'm not opposed. I'm not rigid about being on a 7.5 milligram. My goal is to be at a normal body weight, normal BMI. I picked my goal based on BMI. But I want to have, like, it's not just about the weight loss. I want to be comfortable with my lifestyle. I want to be able to move my body and be active, and I want to be able to eat. And at the time, like the 10 milligram was just keeping me from doing that. So I'm not anti 10 milligram. I just, as of right now, or at the time, it was causing more harm than good. If for some reason I got to, let's say, my goal is 142 pounds. I saw someone asking. I lost 83 pounds already. I might have to repeat that as new people come in.
Okay.
But so I'm 17 pounds away from my goal. If for some reason I got, let's say, another 7 pounds off, and I just could not get that last 10 off for, I don't know, 5, 6 months, I would not be opposed to titrating back up to get the rest of that weight off. But I probably wouldn't end up doing my maintenance at that dose, just depending on how it made me feel.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. I I promised myself, and maybe I should revisit that. I told myself I would never go to 12.5 or 15. That was a promise I made. But I'm pretty sure that when I get close to my goal, I'm gonna revisit that and be like, yeah, let me hit this up so I can get
Yeah, I'm
down to
not
my
anti
goal.
titrating up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
All
that.
right. G says, I don't know why we don't have 50K either, but I'm telling you, G's. I mean, it's
I
like, what,
know.
Well, Vanity and D's, I think we know why, don't we?
I
We
don't
know why.
listen, Paul. I don't know why. I just be here existing. I don't know nothing.
I hear you. Give a shout out to Manjaro Pammy in the house too. Um, Great to have her on. Okay, what made you decide now to show us your journey, to hop on YouTube, do content? Were you huge into social media before you decided to do that, or was this something you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this"?
I was prepared to answer till you added the last part. So the observation that you made about my speaking, I discovered that in 2020 accidentally. I didn't know. I mean, I consider myself to be a shy person outside of my YouTube channel. Um, so I was never really put in a position where I had to speak publicly until 2020. I stumbled upon a platform named Stereo. I shared it with my audience previously, and it's more of a podcasting style, live radio style platform with avatars. You don't really get to see anybody's face or anything like that, and you just talk. You get on there, and the original design of the platform was to strike up conversations with, random people that you come across. And I think the actual creator of the platform creates like dating apps or something like that. So it probably was meant to be some sort of dating app or have that type of feel like speed dating, but it didn't actually work out like that. It turned out to be just a social media platform where people talk and, build community and have fun. Well, 2020, discovered the app, found the community, discovered I am a great orator. Why? How? I have no clue. Okay. So that experience was interesting. It was different. I didn't, it was my first real experience with dealing with strangers on the internet. And I came into it very green, I think is the terminology. Like when you are really naive to something or new, and you really don't understand the way things work. I did not know, Paul, that people are not who they say they are. I did not know, Paul, that people come onto the internet and are phony and fake. I did not know, Paul, that people will come onto the internet and just dislike you for the sake of disliking you. I was so naive. I was so caught off guard, and I let people trick me out my spot. Let's just say that. Okay. I let people bully me out of what I was good at. So I put that to the side, and I always wanted to transition into YouTube, but I get the worst stage fright, okay? Like I am terrible. I get awful stage fright. I've always hated being on camera. I get nervous, I stutter, right? I start talking real fast and I stutter. So, afraid of judgment and criticism. So it took me years, like from I think I did stereo from 2020 to like 2021, and then there was a long gap in between me participating on social media because I was treated very badly by random people. Anyway, so when I decided I was going to do this weight loss journey, I had heard or read somewhere that uh it's good to announce to people that you're going to be losing weight because that way you keep yourself accountable because you don't want to be embarrassed. Like you don't want the peer pressure will keep you accountable. And I always thought that was such a terrible idea. But I'm like, you know what? I know that GLP-1s get a bad rap. I know that people are going to say, I'm just doing this for vanity. I know people are going to judge me. I know people are going to talk shit. I know I'm going to get criticism. So why not get out in front of it? Why not take the opportunity so that I don't have to explain myself in the future? Just go ahead and document the journey because people are going to have stuff to say anyway. You may as well put yourself out there. So I took this journey as my entry into, actually putting what I have to say with my face, putting my face on it. And it was horrifying. It was so scary at first. Um, because like I said, my previous experience with social media without my face was just really bad. And I don't know, it took me essentially 4 years to even take the leap. And
Mhm.
when I did, it was slow at first and it was kind of nice because nobody was watching. It was kind of nice, and then people were, and I found community, so it's been great. But yeah, I took the leap so that when people would criticize me outside of social media or even on social media, I'd be like, you're late. I already acknowledged that on my channel. Like whatever.
So when was your first video drop for your weight loss? The month?
It was July or August. I believe it was August 1st of or July 1st, something like that, of 2024.
Wow. Okay. Nice. So
Yeah.
you've been doing content for a while, and it's you know you're a delight to listen to, and
Oh,
I
thank you.
you know I really enjoy what you have to say and your perspective of it. What's been the most challenging part of being on this GLP-1 journey? If you wouldn't mind sharing that with us.
Hmm. Um, Letting go of my relationship with food. So I remember one of the earliest experience I had with starting out on compound tirzepatide was like, man, like this is great, but I feel like I've lost my best friend. What am I supposed to do? My best friend being sugar, not even necessarily food, but like even though I kept eating sugar, I really wasn't getting the satisfaction from it that I used to get. So emotional eating wasn't as satisfying, or it wasn't as much of a crutch as it used to be, and it was a sad type of, it felt like a breakup, honestly. It felt like a breakup, and I struggled with that for a while. um I mean, probably a whole year, like I struggled with it. And I'm only just now, maybe in the past 3 to 6 months, maybe 4 months, let's just, say 4 months. I'm only just now getting over that hump of realizing that I just gotta let it go. Like, that my relationship with food, using food as a crutch, using food as an emotional support animal, an emotional support cookie, whatever. Yeah, I just had to let it go, but that was the most difficult thing that I've had to do.
All right, next question before we get into, as Darium says, the messy middle. And speaking of Darium, bam, like clockwork.
Hey,
There he
Darium, how
is
you
right
doing?
there. When was the first time you met Darium? Because I remember I met Darium, I want to say when I first started my journey and I started getting on YouTube, and Darian was so gracious. I was in Simply Taisha's chat, and Darian was like, "Hey, Paul, welcome," and also Mel to the B saying, "Hey, Paul, welcome." And I was like, "Hey, this guy's pretty cool." So when did you first meet Darian? Because everybody in these GLP-1 streets, they know King Darian.
You know what's weird about that, Paul? I haven't met Darium. So what I mean by that is the first time I saw his name is on Jesus' channel, like in the chat. But we never interacted other than like a hi and a bye. I pop into G's chat, I say hey everyone, he'd say hey back. I didn't know he had a channel. I did not know that. I mean, I really didn't know anything until very recently, the last time I was in your live. I don't remember what it was that came up. I think he might have said, I don't know how haven't subscribed to Vanity this whole time. And I was thinking the same thing, like, well, I didn't even know you had a channel. Or like, or if you don't have a channel, I don't know. I didn't know you were like popular throughout different channels in the chat or whatever. So we never actually met, I would say. It was just more like just hey in passing. But I don't know Darium's story. I really don't.
Yeah, he has an amazing one. Darian, this is your interview proposal. Darian, would you let me interview
Interview
you so
proposal.
we can find out more about your journey? Darian's a cool guy. Really, he has a Substack called The Messy Middle. So
Mhm.
anybody on Substack, subscribe to his Substack. He's a lot of wealth of knowledge, and he's very supportive of our community. And the name of his Substack is called The Messy Middle. So we're
I
gonna
did
get
not
in the
know.
messy middle.
Okay now,
Then
Paul.
we have some fun now. But I just wanted to say again that that's what makes this community so amazing. Like you and I being able to interact from my channel to your channel. You came
Mhm.
onto my live, you met some new people in the community. I did the same thing, like Reindeer, Nicole Ray.
Mhm.
Nicole Ray, can I call you Nikki Ray? I just want to give you a nickname. I give everybody nicknames. So everybody tell I gave Darium the King Darium nickname, and then KD, and I give people, and Felicia Marie B, I call her FMB. I give
Mhm.
people nicknames. So Vanny, you already got a cool nickname. So I can't. I can't, I can't do that. But you are unapologetic yourself, and
Mhm.
I think it's cool. I think we need that. if ones are not familiar with Vanity's channel, she will mix it up. She will talk about realness. A couple of weeks ago, during your live, Dave from On the Pin, we had a discussion about it. We were in the chat, and you were so gracious with Dave because you never said anything bad about him.
Yeah.
Ones in the chat, voiced their opinion. I even voiced my opinion in there because I have a pretty good smell test, and I was like, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, and I could be completely wrong, and if I am, I'm wrong.
Mhm.
But the way that you controlled the room, you were objective, and then Dave showed up on your live stream. He was like, oh, here's Dave,
Mhm.
and talk about when that happened, and then talk about how all that kind of just played out to you and Dave were on a live together and had one of the amazing chats that I have seen in these GLP-1 streets.
Well, there was a I guess you would call it a pretext to that whole situation. So before that, some time ago last year, I had reacted to one of Dave's videos regarding him stopping alcohol and seeing some success with his weight loss. But because I had gotten some flack previously in the space from reacting to people's content and, some of the viewers just feeling like I'm attacking or taking shots, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this one different. I'm gonna email him first because I love Dave, I respect him. I don't want no smoke, I don't want no confusion. So I'm gonna email him, let him know, hey, I'm gonna react to this video. If you're interested, I hope you'll be there. If not, I hope you catch the playback. I just wanted to let you know I'm gonna react to this. He said, hey, I think that's great. I reacted to the video. Some people didn't like it. He joined and, gave his feedback in the chat, and that was pretty much the end of it. So fast forward to this second video, a lot had happened in between, just kind of with me making changes on my channel. I'm like, I'm not emailing nobody no more before I react to their content. If you see it and you don't like it, then you have all of the free will in the world to reach out to me and we can talk about it. I'm live every week. You can drop into the chat and talk about it, or you can come up on the stream. Everybody has access to me, which sounds bad, but whatever. So this particular time, he didn't know in advance that I was gonna cover this, and someone mentioned it to me, so I wanted to cover it. I think it was Reindeer that posted about it in my community, and I was like, oh, the topic was him switching from Manjaro or Zepbound to the Wegovy pill, and I thought that was odd. I was like, that's a strange shift. Like, what? I wonder what that's about. So I decided to cover it with my audience, and I'm high energy, Paul. Like I'm high energy. I'm a little animated. Uh I ask questions. I try not to make assumptions, and if I get something wrong, then I will correct it. And right as I was asking the question, I was reacting to his video. Right as I was asking the question, like, uh do y'all think that this is sincere or do you think it's for content? And I knew it was a messy question. I prefaced the question by saying, like, okay, this is completely unnecessary. I do not have to ask this question, but I know my audience can handle it and they're not going to attack the content creator just because I'm asking a question that some might consider messy. I'm like, I know people are going to take this the wrong way potentially, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's on my mind and I just want to know what y'all think. So I asked the question, and right as I asked the question, Dave popped into the chat, and I guess he wasn't listening to what I was saying, but he was seeing people say, like, this is for content, this is for content, this is for content. And, he started responding to everyone, and it was history. He stayed for the stream but couldn't really hear what was going on. But he was trying to defend himself in the chat without getting the full context of the stream. So I did the best I could to be fair to him. And also give the try to keep the Venetians on their best behavior because y'all be acting up sometimes, okay?
Got
Like,
you, man. Got you, man.
yeah, y'all, the Venetians be acting up sometimes. So I'm like, all right, y'all, okay, like let's give a little grace here. So I tried to be as fair as possible, but everyone loves Dave. There was no harm, no foul. Everything was fine. And then you want me to go into how stuff hit the fan? You want me to get into that?
Absolutely. But before you do, Remember, you got to put some respect on his name. Is King Dave. No, I'm
It's
just
King
joking.
Dave. I keep forgetting. Oh my gosh. Oh
But
my
but
gosh.
oh, you know what? We got a super chat. Grant, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for that super chat. Really, really appreciate that, my friend. Make sure you go to Grant's channel as well too. So what I want to do right quick, V, before we get into that, to all the nuts and bolts, please like the screen, like the screen, like the stream. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like the stream. Drop a comment. Really appreciate that. Make sure you're following Vanity, following me. We have some more amazing content creators in the chat. So if y'all wouldn't mind dropping a microphone in there so people can follow you as well. It's like reach one, teach one. I mean, we ain't stingy with this stuff. I mean, the more people follow us and like us, and we put other people on, that makes the algorithm grow. That makes all of our content
Mhm.
go out more. And V, I don't think people understand that. They want to be stingy, and they don't know if the more people watch this stuff, the more it help us all out. But they be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna watch this person. I'm not gonna like this person. I'm not gonna do this and that." But that's how it is. So thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. And okay, here we go, V. So let's get down to the nitty gritty, because remember I sent you a message during the thing. I said
Mhm.
we was gonna ride for you if you needed us, because I was like,
Gang gang.
we can't have nobody ganging up on somebody, because we was waiting in the wings. So go ahead and speak more on it.
Okay, so I did the live stream. Dave popped in, and that was the end of that, or so I thought. But I proceeded to get maybe a dozen comments, or I don't know, several comments really pushing back against my stream, like not even really expressing what I did wrong or what I said wrong or where there was disrespect. Apparently, I was clickbaiting and I was disrespectful for using Dave's name and his face in the thumbnail, even though the live stream, or that portion of the live stream, was about him. It was insanity. And me, listen, after being treated so poorly on social media years ago, like I have a very thick skin and I have a very big mouth, and you're not going to play with me in my comment section. I am petty. Okay? I am not the bigger person. I am not better than this or that. I will respond. Now maybe when my channel gets bigger and the comments, there's just too many comments to respond to, then maybe I will grow up and be an adult and not respond. But as of right now, don't play with me in my comments, because I'm gonna say something. And you're still welcome to come back and watch the next stream or video. Like, I still love you. It's okay. But yeah, people were going off on me in my comments. So I had to do a I had to do a follow-up. First I started out with a post. Like, it seems like people got a little beef with my stream. And then I had to do an actual, live stream to address it. So I did a live stream addressing it. And again, as I was live, Dave pops in and he's like, "Hey, I went back and watched your stream. I thought it was great. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. I thought you were fair. I thought you were balanced." And I'm just like, "Thank you so much for saying that, because people said, don't talk about the king. Use the king, Dave." They said, use the king. I need to crown you and I can't talk about you and I'm disrespecting you and I'm clickbaiting and all of this stuff. And he's just like, no. He's like, it was perfectly fine. I enjoyed it. There's no problem, no anything. So it was all good. And I had told Dave, like I had expressed to my audience, I'm like, because someone was like, if you were gonna do this, he should have been on your channel, or y'all should have been up there talking together. And I'm like, well, I asked him to come on my channel and he didn't answer me. So that shows how much you know. So when he popped into my live again, I was like, Dave, I mentioned that, some people wanted us to felt like I was out of pocket for not having you there to explain this yourself. But, I asked you to be on my channel before and I never got an answer. And he was like, no, I didn't ghost you, or I didn't miss one. I didn't ignore your email or anything like that. He's like, maybe I missed it. I'm terrible about stuff like that. And I was like, am I lying on your name, Dave? Because if I'm getting this wrong, as I do sometimes, I will correct the record. I am so sorry. Let me go back and check my email and make sure I'm not lying on you. So I went back to my email and I took a second look and I'm like, okay, technically I just left an open invite for him to come chat. I did not ask him for a collab, so that's not the same thing. So me and him cleared it up. I cleared the record on my channel and he agreed to actually come on my channel for a collaboration, and we scheduled it. We did the collab and it was great. everything was great. So all the fussing from the commenters was completely unnecessary. But
Yeah, it
people
was.
will fuss. People will fuss.
They will, and it taught me a lot about Dave because I've maybe watched maybe 3 minutes of Dave on the pen. It wasn't no reason why I didn't, but I just didn't. And then when I saw that interview that you both did together, the live, I was like, he good people. He good people because he was like down to earth. He was
Mhm.
just, I was like, okay, Dave, you got to follow in me now because I love just your attitude and how he was like, you guys had a good frank discussion. And that's what we need more of. I think sometimes, and I use this expression, you probably heard this before too, V, rainbows and unicorns. Everybody want,
Mhm.
this, we give each other all these excuses of why we're not doing it. And I'm like, no, no, no. We ain't got no time to waste, y'all. I mean, we got stuff we gotta do. And Sunshine said, "Hey, Sunshine." Sunshine says, "People are allowed to have." Yes, you're right, Sunshine. It's our protected First Amendment right. We can have an opinion, and yeah, we can. Glad you said that. One thing, I keep saying, I'm being redundant, V. I'm saying one thing, one thing, one thing. As you can tell, you're one of my faves here on YouTube. That
Oh,
another thing that I really like that you tackle, and what's the name of your squad again?
the Venetians.
The Venetians. We know Dr. Jen is a Venetian,
Mhm.
Reindeer is a Venetian, Sydney is a Venetian, Nikki Ray is a Venetian,
Nikki
and if
Ray.
and if I missed anyone else, I'm sorry. I'm finding out who the Venetians are. That they will send you content of ones that they want you to have commentary on.
Correct.
What made you want to tackle that to like comment on things that are going in on there? I know the reason why because you talked about it last night and your breaking down of a person's video. But
Uh-huh.
for ones who didn't hear that or watch that, would you mind explaining? And before you do that, G's one of one is going to do his live at 5 p.m. Eastern. So I want everybody to know that. Make sure you go to G's channel and watch that. Appreciate you, G, pushing yours back. Um, G's is going to be joining me on my show too. G's, we might do a
Oh, yay.
Sunday or a Monday. We're trying to work that out. But please, V, explain why you tackled that, looking at different content and giving your take on it.
So originally it started out with Allie at Fit Flavor Fun because she put out a video expressing her point of view on something. I think it was something like people should be required to go to therapy before getting on a GLP-1, something to that effect. And her audience gave strong pushback against that. And if anybody's familiar with her channel, or at least back when I was familiar, not so much anymore, her audience, it like, many other audiences tend to be for the most part on the same page. But with this, they were pushing back extremely hard and she did not take it very well. So someone brought it to my attention and wanted me to give my input on it because I had already, I guess, had the reputation of being candid, being honest, being frank. So I'm like, I like Allie. I wonder if the pushback was warranted. You know what I mean? Like because she had turned off her comments and everything. So I'm like, man, like why are they coming at her? Like are they being rude to her or what did she say? So I reacted to it and I felt like she was incorrect. So I gave my reaction. She ended up watching it in the playback, said I gave great feedback, and that was the end of it. From that point forward, reindeer. Reindeer proceeded to continue to send me things to react to. Jen has sent me things. So many people have sent me things to react to because they like my input. And it doesn't matter if the other person is a content creator or a celebrity. It don't matter if I like them or if I'm subscribed to them. It really doesn't matter who they are. If my audience wants to see me react to something or give my input, I'm going to do it. And you brought up the most recent one, and it's just like with that one was a little different. Yes, it was sent to me, but my first impression was, you know what? Just let it go. Just leave it alone. But this one was different because I relate to the struggle of this other content creator. I overcame some of the hurdles that she doesn't even know are hurdles yet. Some of the things that she's experiencing in her journey that she can't see as hurdles that she's placing in front of herself or tripping over her own shoelaces, I couldn't see those things at one point as well. Or if I did see them, I was too stubborn to change those things. And I didn't start to see significant or consistent success until I decided to face those things. So that was a bit more, that was a little different with last night's stream. I just, I had a personal connection to Jasmine's experience.
And when you opened up that was your struggle, I mean, it made a lot of sense why you were so passionate about it. And I think we in these GLP-1 streets, we get a little bit too sensitive sometimes when someone tries to give us some criticism. I mean, you don't. I mean, I've seen you take stuff from Jen, from all the rest of the Venetians too. So you sit there and take it, and I admire that about you. But to me, it's like we're hijacking words and making it be something else that it wasn't intended to be. Case in point, the word grace. Every time somebody mess up, I'm gonna give myself grace. I mean, you can't give yourself grace every day. I mean, it don't work that way. It's kind of like when people hijack the word woke. You know what I mean? When woke
Yeah.
came out, woke was a positive sentiment that people are not asleep to what's really going on. But then other people hijack that word to make it a pejorative when it's not. And then even like with the word grace, they've hijacked it to the point that it really loses its impact. Has giving ourselves grace, that word, become I'm gonna start on Monday? What you think, V?
Well, I don't have time for none of that. Like, okay, listen, let me be fair. That's funny because one of my very first videos was uh the idea of, oh, I'll just start over on Monday, and it's like, no, 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 no. See, that's a trap. That's a endless cycle. um the GLP-1 space, I don't necessarily like the terminology community because I think it's, we use the term GLP-1 community as if it's all one space when really it's a bunch of groups, it's a bunch of different cliques and stuff like that. So to me, when it comes to grace, people have used grace as a crutch to make excuses, either for themselves or from the viewer's perspective, to make excuses for the content creators that they like. And to me personally, it's like, I'm in this to be successful. I am not in this to lie to anybody or lie to myself. I'm not in this to I was just watching an old stream of mine where I was like, I'm not in this for a kumbaya. And what I meant by that was like, I love my audience, I love the subscribers, I love the content creators too of the space, but like you were mentioning before, and I was just kind of like, put my head down. The space can be a little funny, okay? And I just leave the funniness to the side because at the end of the day, I'm not here to link arms with everybody and make sure everybody's on the same page. Like, no, I'm gonna feel how I feel. Others will feel how they feel. But when it comes to grace, it's like it becomes a catch-all term for, no, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, but be nice to me about it. And it's just like, well, once you share your journey publicly, you open yourself up for criticism. You open yourself up to critique. You open yourself up to pushback. And I've noticed that a lot of people just want to be in an echo chamber. People just want to be in an echo chamber of agreement and coddling. And I just don't have time for that. I don't have the patience for it.
Make sure you watch your live. You'll see it in action. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. And to me, you mentioned something about clicks, and only if you're comfortable with talking about it. We don't have to put nobody on blast or anything, but we can just kind of talk about the different buckets of clicks out there that you have witnessed and that you have seen. And does it damage the GLP-1 movement that we are all so trying to look at it in a positive way, even though we will be honest about when things are not right, whether it's the medication, whether it's our journey. We'll be like, my bad, I got to do better. I seen you on a live break open a Kit Kat, eating a Kit Kat, and you're like, I know, and it's like you weren't giving yourself grace. She was like, no, I got to do better. You didn't say, oh, I'm just gonna give myself grace today. Eat this Kit Kat. You was like, this Kit Kat gonna last me for 1 week. I mean, boom. I mean, and then it's over. It's done. But can you imagine if he said every time you came on your video saying you're gonna give yourself some grace, it loses its impact of real struggles out there that we have. So back to my question, you know, I have that, ADHD kind of thing where my mind just goes into several directions out there. But the different clicks out there, what do you see out there? And in the comment, let me know if you see these clicks too, because I mean, this is something we got to talk about. I mean, it's real talk. Go ahead, Ms.
Yeah,
V. The floor is
yeah,
yours.
it's not really like when I say clicks, I don't really mean any particular like content creator or anything like that. I just noticed that how do I want to put this? Like, okay, people can consider my channel or my group of watchers to be a clique, and I wouldn't even push back against that because we're kind of tight, and when you're new and you drop down into the chat like, hi, I'm new here, it don't take long for people to like just bring you in and hug you and be like, all right, but don't be sensitive over here because we don't play that, and people just kind of fit into the shenanigans. So I think when it comes to cliques within a space, it really just depends on like how people feel about, like, there are subscriber clicks, so meaning like certain people go to certain channels. I think with the people that watch me, they tend to be incredibly diverse. Like they watch everybody, no matter where I go, I see them there. So I think there are subscriber clicks like that. Like certain people only like certain channels, but then amongst like content creators, you mentioned it earlier. I noticed like when I came into the space, or well, I was kind of green coming into the space, a little naive. I didn't realize that people linked up based on what they believe or even popularity or subscriber count. So one of the things I noticed is that sometimes larger channels will collaborate with each other, but they don't necessarily engage too much with smaller channels, or if they do even acknowledge a smaller channel, they're extremely selective about it. Not that I care or anything, it's just something that I noticed. Or it depends on like what you feel. So there's like this, I don't need to change anything about what I eat. I can just get on a GLP-1 and everything will be fine, click. And then there is the, calories are always gonna matter and eat less, move more. And then there's that click. And there's just like the compound click. The compound click versus the brand click. The brand people ain't messing with compound, and the compound people is like, well, brand is too expensive and ain't nobody got time for that. And it's the same old thing. So it's just like, people, like I said, people say community, but it's really a collection of communities. I don't necessarily think that there's as much consensus as a group or as a space as people make it seem. I don't think there's as much support as people make it seem, or camaraderie. No, not really. People are messy. People will like be shady and sneak this, and like I don't play the sneak dissing games. If I'm not gonna say your name, I'm not even gonna talk about what you got going on, because I don't want nothing to be misconstrued. And if I hear that anything is being said about me, I have no choice but to ignore it, because if somebody didn't say it to me, then what can I do? But I have subscribers that will email me like, V, I need you to watch out for this person, or V, I heard this
Mm.
person be saying this, or V, I kind of noticed this. I ain't trying to start nothing, but this is what I heard. And I'm just like, it's fine. Like it comes with the territory. So it gets very cliquish. It gets very like messy. And that's not just with women. That's across the board, that's across
No,
the
you're
board.
right. You're right. Sunshine says sometimes discussions and questions posted can be seeds and may lay the groundwork if you and when you're ready to change. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. Sunshine, I'm feeling your vibe. Are you subscribed to me? I mean, I need some of those comments on my channel too. But
Sunshine.
help a brother
That is
out, all
my
right?
sunshine.
Help a brother out. You really peel back that onion, layer of the onion right there, V, when you made that discussion, because especially like some of these big channels. See, I mean, you've heard my story before, about how, my channel was used for my broadcast journalism, interviewed a bunch of
Mhm.
stars on there, so ones can take a look at it. And what's funny is like some of these people, these big channels, they think they've achieved something. One of these days, I'm going to share my YouTube revenue that I've made since my 15 years being on YouTube. I'm going to share that with everybody, just to let people know that just because these people are in these spaces with all these big channels, these subscriber accounts, and people think, oh, they have this, they have that. They ain't got nothing. I mean, it is just like, and then they trying to be selective of who they trying to put on. And that's why I'm working so hard to try to get my audience back who cared about interviews to care about health and wellness.
Yeah.
Because when that happens, I want to put everybody on because it's not about me. It's about reach one, teach one. And what bothers me the most is like some of these big channels, when they interview these people, they know how to share that collaborator link. They know. So why not share the collaborator link with some of the small channels, help them grow their channel too, instead of just having your channel grow? And that's why I'm glad you and I today are streaming on both of our channels
Yeah.
because both of us are reaching our different audiences out there so we all can shine and that we all can really assist each other. But that's gonna change, V. I'm telling you, this year, you, me, RMZ, all these other channels, these channels that we have in there, the ones who drop their microphones, this is the year we're gonna change the game because it's stagnant out there. These discussions. I mean, it's always this drug does this drug does that. Tell me about your journey. I titrated up here, titrated up there. I did this. I mean, it gets old and stale after a while. We need to really have some discussions like you had last night. You like, I struggle with the same thing that Jasmine struggled with. I know what she's going through. And it's like,
Mhm.
you would think people would be like, oh, yeah, let's share this out because we know the struggle too. No, you know what they want to share out? This book says this. This book says that. Nova Nordic says this. I'm like, all right, all right. Y'all won't. There's nothing wrong with having vanilla ice cream because I like vanilla ice cream on some pie whenever I have pie. But don't you want some chocolate and peanut butter, some Rocky Road, some
You are a
you
mess.
know, I'm just saying, V, you let me know if I'm wrong, V.
No, I mean, I don't it's not that I think you're okay. You wanna go there, let's go there. Are there is there a little bit of a cliquish amongst like, white content creators and black content creators? Yes. Is there a little bit of crossover? Yeah, but I noticed okay, when I first came into the space, all of the channels that I followed, I thought the whole GLP-1 space was all white content creators. And honestly, it didn't matter. It wasn't a big deal. I honestly wasn't even thinking about it. It wasn't until I started going live and people were coming into my live stream that had channels and I'm like, where all you people come from? I'm talking about, oh God, I can't even think. Like Delilah and Sweet Tea, it took her some time. It took you some time. Um, a few other people was coming into my streams, channels that smaller channels that I just didn't even know existed. And I was like, oh my God, I did not know there was so many like, black and brown and mixed. And I didn't know the GLP-1 community was a rainbow. I did not know that. So is there that divide? Yeah. Is it harmful? No. Do I something else that I said in a live stream is like I'm not begging nobody for no collaboration or no love or no shout out or no anything. That's why I'm so, happy I got the chance to do the collab with Dave. He has a wonderful, huge audience. He has a huge reach. I benefited from that live stream. Um I got subscribers, I got viewers, and it's like, but I'm not owed that. You know what I mean? Dave don't owe me that. None of the downsides doesn't owe me an interview or whatever other big channels are out there. They don't owe me anything, so I'm not looking for it or asking for it. But I know, like I have seen large and mid-sized channels, don't even matter what the race is. I've seen large and mid-sized channels acknowledge other creators that are in my space, like we're kind of here together,
Mhm.
and I'm just like, So y'all, you trying to tell me, not that I really care, but I'm just observing. You trying to tell me you see everybody around me, but you don't see me? Okay, if you say so. I mean, I'm just over here in my little Venetian street, just trying to do my vain little thing, and I don't want no problems with nobody. Nobody owes me anything. I'm not begging. As far as like wanting a little chocolate, I mean, you either have it or you don't. I don't necessarily think that part is like a racial thing. Either you're entertaining or you're not. Either people want to watch you or you don't. Why don't I have 50,000 subscribers? Honestly, Paul, it's because I'm not consistent enough. I do work a full-time job, so I'm not going to pretend that I'm putting 40 hours a week into YouTube. I'm not. But does it, could there be opportunities for bigger creators to uplift some of the smaller creators? Sure. But do they owe us that? They don't. And I just okay, whatever. I just shrug it off, I just shrug it
You know,
off. It
you
is what
know,
it is.
I I don't I don't think they owe us that, but I'm from the school reach one, teach one, because when that happens, more blessings come your way. You know,
Mhm.
I have seen it too much in the entertainment world, in the media world. When you do nice things for other people, it makes your star shine even brighter. And your star, and I've said this before, you've heard me say this about RMC. I'm saying it about you, saying it about others out there. Y'all got some good content. I
Yeah.
mean, and if y'all didn't, I'll be like, I can see why. But y'all are entertaining. I even look at Tamika, the way she does her weight training. I mean, that stuff is entertaining. So and if I didn't mention anybody's name, it doesn't mean that I don't think yours is entertaining too. I think there's a lot of
Mhm.
great small channels out there, and that's why what I want to do is highlight these small channels on
Yeah.
these GLP-1 streets, because I'm like, let's get the message out there. All y'all got some incredible stories, and y'all just been killing it out there. More people got to know it. See what Darian said about the different flavors?
I saw it. I was trying not to interrupt with my laughter. I'm like, "Oh my god.
That you know
Oh
that you
my
know that,
god."
that you know that's what I love. That's what I love about Darian. We'll
Mm-mm.
go through the comments just for 1 second, and
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Pammy, we love you too, because Pammy is there
Hey,
for us. I mean, she is
Pam.
there. I mean, she is always there. Make sure you check out Pam's channel too. Um, G says, "Yeah, we get 5K views on shorts." Yeah, isn't that something? That's true. It's the algorithm. That's what it is. All right. And Vanity, like when I first came on your channel, Vanity was like, "I didn't even know you were a content creator." Remember you said that about me when you commented on
Yeah,
one
that's
of my
typically
lives?
my experience. I'm like, "Oh, thank you for falling out of the clouds." And then people are like, "Hey, such and such." Hey, and I'm like, "Who y'all know them?" Like, "Oh, they have a channel." And sometimes it takes me weeks or months to even figure it out. And then I feel bad and I feel like, "Oh god, they're going to think I'm uppity because I ain't never been to their channel." But, it really is hard to keep up. But I just assume everybody that comments is just a regular viewer, but a lot of you guys are content creators yourself, so I appreciate the support.
And I appreciate you too. I mean, you supported us. That's what we do. JC makes a good point. Her and Evelyn actually had a live last night talking about this. And if you missed that live, definitely check that out. So I get more subscribers from being mentioned than going on interviews, specifically GLP-1 community. This is not the space to have greater expansion or subscriber growth. And I think that's why she started doing her like her chickens and everything. She's got all that. So that's cool. All right. TT has a question. TT says, oh, okay. Oh, RMG first. He said, I haven't seen anything by Vanity. Paul hit me to her. Yeah. I was like, you gotta watch her. I was talking to Twan the other day. I said, Twan, Vanity, have you seen her? She said, no, I'm gonna have to check her out. I said, gotta get your eye on her. I said, she is a disruptor. And I mean it in a good way, Vanity. Mean it in a good way. Mean it in a good way. All right.
Ah.
TT says, do y'all get offended when people with smaller channels shout your channel out, especially if your platform is a lot bigger? Do you V?
Do I get offended when people with smaller channels shout my channel out? My channel is small, so no. I mean, I don't get offended with it. I'm not sure. positivity. I know it's positive T, but it's positivity to me. I'm not sure I know what you mean. If somebody has a smaller channel than me, I only have about 1,400 subscribers. That's small to me. So I I appreciate every shout out. Like, okay, I'm a little delulu. I still get surprised that people know who I am. Like if I go to different spaces, or if people come out of the clouds into the comments and they're like, "Yeah, I've been watching since the beginning of your channel," or they'll be like, "Yeah, I've been watching for about a year. I just never said anything." I'm like, so yeah, no, I don't get offended. Yeah, I know, not at all.
Yeah, JC says this: a good amount of GLP-1 creators still don't follow. I don't worry about those folks not here. V, I think you feel the same way, right?
About other creators following?
Or if they don't follow you, you don't,
No,
you don't, you don't bother you.
I don't care because I know they're watching. Like I know
Yeah,
they're Paul, listen to me.
that's
Okay.
true.
When I first
Watch
when I first
count.
started going live,
Yeah, yeah.
content creators were coming out of left field.
Mhm.
Like every day I was going live, content creators were coming out of left field. I'm like, that's how I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know there was so many other content creators in the space. I thought there was like the big five and that was it. And then, people were there one day and then they weren't. And it was like, oh, so a lot of people just came by to be nosy. That's fine. That's fine. And then like you start to pick up on the fact that people are watching your content and just not giving credit. You get to pick up on the fact that people are getting ideas from you. Yeah, we're all in the same space and we share all of that, but people pick up on your creativity and your individuality of your content style and the way that you do things, and then they try to replicate it without giving any credit. And I see it. I notice it. I
No,
don't, there ain't no beef about it, but it's just like, yeah, I see you. So you're watching. You're either in the clouds or on the playback. And yeah, no, people don't give credit, but it is what it is.
yeah, Twan is back. Said I'm back. I'm behind on the video chat because I had to stop. Take care. Oh, no worries, Twan. We appreciate you. But Twan, didn't I tell you that Vanity was something
Oh, is
special?
that Twan? Tommy's girl fit like I didn't know that. Hello,
Yeah,
Twan. I didn't
yeah,
know.
she has two of them. So she has Traces of Twan and Tommy Fit Girl. So
Okay.
she has two Twan. So Twan, when I correct when I told you Vanity something special? I mean, you got the juice,
What?
Vanity. You got the juice. All right, here's Dr. Jen. Hey, Sunshine. Okay, Dr. Jen saying hi. Okay, Ms. V.
Yes.
Let's spend the remainder of the discussion talking about what the future holds for you. So after you reach your goal weight, what's going to be your focus on your channel, on your
Mm-hmm.
content? Are you still going to be that leading voice that we have now, breaking down stuff? Because you cannot stop doing that. I mean, that's a
I don't
mandate.
know
Jen,
about leading.
Jen,
No.
Jen, 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 and all the Venetians said you cannot stop doing that. You cannot stop doing that.
No, I'm not going anywhere. So when I reach my goal of getting 100 pounds down, technically I'll be at the higher end of a normal weight, and the slightest bit of weight gain, I'll be back into the overweight category. So once I get to my first goal, I think after that, I will shift my focus to body recomposition. And with that, the number on the scale going down isn't necessarily the objective, but still continuing to lower my body fat percentage and put on muscle may be my priority without the scale. The scale may or may not change. That just won't. Once I get 100 pounds off, that just won't be the priority anymore. So I'll go a lot into body recomposition. I'll go into some for the ladies or fellas if they're interested. Skin tightening and body contouring, which is just non-invasive methods of working on minimal loose skin or surface level loose skin. Some loose skin you just can't get around or fix without surgery. But little problem areas, I'll focus on talking about that because I tend to start working on some of that. If you're a member, then you've already seen me doing some of that. Um, and then just really, trying to focus on the discussion around maintenance, the discussion around accessibility, and Paul, that thing that nobody likes to talk about, the libido with being on a GLP-1. Like people lose their libido or it gets reduced. And how is it that people have been getting Manjaro for maybe 3 or 4 years off script for weight loss, Zepbound for roughly 2 years for specifically weight loss, and nobody is talking about how people are losing their libido? Like,
Yeah.
no, I mean, these channels are massive and nobody's talking about it. And I'm just like, okay. I think you're
Well,
doing the audience a disservice, but okay, or the space.
Well, you
Okay.
know what? If they slipping on it, V, you know what I mean? We got to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The big channels are slipping, so let's do it. I mean, let's make it make some content about it, talk about it, and if they don't, if they slipping on it, and they just want to talk about in news. Let me stop. Okay, Felicia Marie, Felicia Marie B is in the house. She says,
Hi,
"Hello,
Felicia.
and y'all check out Felicia's new video. Felicia lost over 140 pounds." And she goes through her journey of why she didn't share her journey in the beginning, but waited to share it. That video almost made me ugly cry. Felicia, stop doing that. You should make me ugly cry. We're not going for roll tacos when I see you in San Diego. Okay. So we're not going to do that. All right, Miss V, what are some other things that you always wanted to share with the audience about your journey? Something you after you did a live, you're like, oh man, I should have said that, or I should have said this, or any other observation
Mhm.
that you have about the GLP-1 space.
Um, Nothing really. I mean, other than there's not really much that I don't share. So because I'm pretty open, I mean, there's really nothing that I'm like, I wish I would have said that, or no. I mean, throughout my journey, if there's anything that I have realized that I would like to emphasize is that being overweight sucks. And I've just tried to be as decent about it as possible, but sometimes I do get a little like I give a little bit of a side eye to people that make it seem like being overweight or being obese is not a big deal. Um, and I've just been I know that there are people still finding their way, so I don't want to be insensitive, but I really do I feel like people are being dishonest about people that haven't decided to make the transition to weight loss yet because they feel like weight loss is vain, or the method of weight loss that you choose is vain, or whatever the case may be. And it's just like, I don't care about none of that. Being overweight sucks. Being obese sucks. In fact, I think I'm traumatized by it. And if that makes me vain, then so be it.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, Pammy's cutting up. V, you ready for this comment? Here
I
we
don't
go.
know. What did I, what? Oh. Oh, or it's the opposite and the libido is better now. Dave
Pammy's
mentioned that. So I wasn't trying to imply that everybody is having the same symptom. That wasn't my point. The point is, I mean, there's some people with no symptoms on a GLP-1. There are some people without anhedonia, and I've had that symptom. But when I talked about it, plenty of people were like, "Oh yeah, that's me." So it's not necessarily my point to say that, "Oh, we have to talk about it because this is a symptom that everybody gets." No, my point is there are many people with this symptom that aren't talking about it, and I feel like content creators as a whole, no one in particular, I feel like content creators as a whole are doing the space a disservice by not talking about it. The only reason that I didn't talk about it is because I didn't realize until very recently, like within the past few months, I didn't realize until very recently that that was even a thing. Now, if some people's libido gets better, then that's wonderful. I think that that's something to talk about. But it's just one of those things that I feel like it's people consider it a sensitive topic. So hypothetically, if I wasn't a content creator and I discovered that I was having this symptom, where would I go to find the information on it,
yeah,
Paul? Where am
I
I gonna
love that.
go? Nobody's talking about it. Where am I gonna go? So that's the only point that I was trying to make. If that's not your symptom, not to Miss Pam, hi Pam, but for whomever, if that's not your symptom and that's not the type of content you're interested in, then fine. But there are plenty of people that have questions and they're not getting answers.
No, that makes sense. No, V, everybody want to hear about what Medicare is going to charge people. They want to hear about what this study said. That's what people want to
Mhm.
hear. They don't hear nothing about no libido. They don't care about what affects them. They want to get the ears tickled. That's what they want to hear about.
Um, I look at it as to be fair, right? Now that I've said all of that other stuff, to be fair, certain people are just good at talking about certain things, right? So like with Dave, he always says, I don't like talking about my personal journey. And he said it was nice to come on my channel because it made it a lot easier. And I'm like, yeah, well, I don't like talking about the news. So it's nice to go to your channel and get
Yeah,
the news because I don't got time for that. Like there's so many content creators, and this is not a bad thing. people need the news. There are so many content creators doing the news. I'm not about to sit here and do no news unless something comes up that somebody wants me to talk about specifically. I'm not about to sit here and do all of these GLP-1 and big pharma updates. I'm not doing it. But I'm going to talk about, my struggles with titration and, my weight loss progress or my stalls. I'm going to talk about skinny privilege and pretty privilege and losing your friends when you decide to lose weight, or does your relationship change? Did your partner start acting funny? Did you grow apart in your relationship because y'all didn't lose weight together? Or did your attraction to somebody change, or are you attracting more people? I like the personal aspect more. We don't all have to talk about the same thing, but I think there, with that particular thing that I mentioned, I do think that there is a particular void, and eventually, I'll talk about it. I just didn't want to get distracted from like actively,
Yeah.
being in the process of struggling with my own weight loss. And then my audience knows, if you ask them what the theme of my channel is, they're not going to be able to tell you because I talk about everything. Like I pull them in 15 different directions, and when I get to that conversation, I want to be as focused as possible. So that's how I feel about that.
That makes sense. And I want to quantify mine too. I don't want to paint everybody with a broad brush, because I know RMZ does a great job reporting the news, because he does it in a way that has some flair, has some style with it, and I really appreciate it. Like, he did one before everybody else did, and it made a lot of sense. So I'm glad you said it, because I don't want to give that impression too, that
Mm-hmm.
that's not in there, because let's face it, legacy media is dying by the day.
Kaput.
So it's good to have other forms out there. So I never want to rain anybody's parade about that. But I'm just saying, look at others. Look at me. Look at RMZ. Go to their channel too. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to get us some shine out there. All right,
Mm-hmm.
V. I'm only gonna hold you a few more minutes, because I
Sure.
know your lives are legendary. V, what is the shortest live you ever did? Not the longest, but the shortest.
Legendary. Legendary. Probably 30 minutes, because I needed to respond to a comment really quickly because they had me fucked up. But and I call those my crash out moments, where I just need to, I don't know if you curse on your channel, I'm so sorry. But because it was early on into me going live, and it was one of my very first reactions. And somebody had some strong words for me in the comments, and I'm like, I'm not about to go back and forth with you in the comments, so let me go live real quick and say what I have to say. That's the benefit of having a channel. Yep, I got the upper hand because I get to speak on my channel. But the difference is, I will give you access to me. I will give you the opportunity to come up here and speak with me if you like. So I think the shortest live I've done is 30 minutes, maybe, just doing a little quick crash out. And
And
I
what's the
try
longest?
to shorten them now, but
What's
my
the longest?
audience,
What's that longest one? What's the
about
longest one?
5.5 hours.
And it's all entertaining. That's the crazy thing about it. It's like
Shut up,
watching like
reindeer.
you know, it's like watching Return of the Jedi. Even though it's like a 3-hour movie, you know, I can watch the Return of the Jedi all the time. If it's entertaining. I mean, if I'm sitting there, like, I've been watching this for 5 hours, and I'm like, it's been entertaining. So we appreciate that. Now you
No,
do a
thank
really good
you.
job at it. Now I'm not big time like you. I don't have any moderators, so I don't know how many
Big
likes.
time.
Yeah, I don't know
All
how many
praises.
likes. I don't know how many likes we got. How many likes we got? Because we need to
Let
we
me
need to make
see.
sure we
Do
liking
I
these
even
ones.
know? Yeah, make sure y'all are liking the stream. You have 25. I think y'all can do better than that. And I haven't
Yeah,
been plugging the likes on my channel as well. I have 19. So thank y'all for liking the stream. And if you haven't already, just go ahead and give us some likes, please, and thank you.
that's what we almost got. I think we topped off almost 50. So that's cool. So can we get to over 50 in 10 minutes? Because in 10 minutes we're gonna be out of here, so Jesus can get ready for his live. So can we get to 50? Can y'all share this with some of y'all friends, your network? Help us get to 50. That's all. We just want to get to 50. That's all we want to do. Break a milestone. That'd be really awesome. Because last night, you broke a milestone, right? Would you almost 50?
53 live viewers. Other than when I was, Dave was dual streaming because he has a big audience, but just on my own, yeah, 53 live was a new threshold for me. Typically I sit around 20, maybe 30. So yeah, 53 was interesting.
Yeah, that's me too. I'm like 20 or 30. I think I was 30 last week with Grant.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a first for me too, being at 45. So that's cool. Really, really appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Thank you guys.
I'm gonna need y'all to do me a favor too, because at the end, I played the theme song that I played in the beginning. And if y'all could do me a favor, because I want to get like some fun content going. So if y'all wouldn't mind like filming yourself dancing to the song, that'd be pretty awesome. Only if you feel
Oh.
comfortable with it. If you don't worry about it. But if y'all mind doing that, I really appreciate it. Because I want to put a montage together because we're working on a video for it. And I already got permission from some out there whose name that I mentioned. I'm gonna be reaching out to others whose names that I mentioned just to make sure I have your permission to share an image or share your channel. I don't want to get sued, but I want to make sure that we do that because we got a real fun video that we're trying to plan for that. So that's gonna be pretty awesome. So V, as you look at all the different dissections that you have done to different videos or comment on different videos, what has been the one that kind of shocked you the most? You're like, oh my, this person need to go see Dr. Paradise or Dr. Lola on 600-Pound Life to really, really get some help. And there's nothing wrong with getting some professional help because I need some. I'm gonna be getting me some this summer, so ain't nothing wrong with that. So, but who do you look at and be like, wow, I really feel bad for this person?
You mean as far as like me watching someone else's channel or someone commenting? I honestly, doing YouTube is hard, so I don't spend a lot of time watching GLP-1 content. I'm being I'm being modest. I don't spend time watching GLP-1 content like for the most part at all. So I couldn't really say. I think that Jasmine, I wouldn't say she needs, Dr. Paradise or like she's just really, really in the pits and needs someone to pull her out. Like I said, she's me and I am her. She don't know me, so it's completely just my opinion. But like I see myself in her, one, because she's incredibly stubborn, two, because she is a know-it-all, and I say these things with love, as if I'm talking about myself, not in any way, shape, or form as a form of disrespect. Uh and she is very unapologetic about what she's going to do with her life, which I think is the way to be if you're seeing success. So, like, when you get to the point where you are not seeing success, but you're standing 10 toes down in, I don't want to say failure, but like a reversal of all of your hard work. You are seeing your hard work fall apart right before your eyes, and you are standing 10 toes down in it, and nobody can tell you anything. Then it's like, you need to reevaluate. And I don't look at her with pity. I don't pity Jasmine at all. I don't pity anybody. I don't pity myself. There's no pity. There's no like, oh, I feel bad for her. No, none of that. It's just like sometimes I just shake my head in not disrespect or sympathy. It's just like you don't see it yet. And when you do, if you do, I hope you do, inevitably you will look back at your former self like, wow, I was tripping. I really was. Like, not that you got to listen to what strangers on YouTube tell you, but it's like you just got to take some time and reevaluate. So yeah, I only look at her because people, want me to react to her videos. But yeah, I'd say Jasmine is the probably the one where I'm just like, yeah, she needs a little bit of a hand, but she ain't gonna accept it.
Yeah. And I feel sorry for people too. And I'm sorry, I know. I know when I'm in your chat and I say that, they be like, don't feel sorry. So
Yeah, I
I
ain't got time
know,
for that, Paul.
I know,
I'm
I know.
listening though. I'm listening.
But it's just with Jasmine and also this other creator too, and you can tell. It seems to me, and I'm giving my opinion because it is protected by the First Amendment. And it's just my opinion that this one creator I watch, she's searching to whatever's going to make her video viral. So one video, she'll talk about how she's on the journey, she's doing everything correct. Then the next video, she's talking about, I'm just gonna be myself, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna eat ice cream, I'm gonna eat mac and cheese, I'm gonna do all this. The scale doesn't move. I want to tell people how they can eat whatever they want to and still lose weight on the GLP-1. And it's just like searching for that hit. And I'm thinking, are you being serious about what you're doing, or is this just a game to you? And what makes me feel sorry for that person, not just for them, but others who watch them and try to pick up on those bad habits, Because there's going to be somebody out there who's really sincere about getting this under control. But they watch that and they're like, oh, I can eat whatever I want to eat. Not, and then in 3 months, they fizzle out because no success. And they tell everybody, oh, that don't work for me. And it's like, well, did you stick to the program? Well, I watched this one person. They said I could eat all this and still do that. So I think that's where I'm coming from when I say I feel sorry, V. But yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, no, I don't got time for none of that. Because I think that we have spent enough time potentially feeling sorry for ourselves, with struggling with our weight all of our lives. And once you decide to do something about it and you're serious, then be serious. Now, when you become a content creator, yes, you have the choice of chasing views and subscribers, or you have the choice of just being yourself. As Calamity was mentioning earlier, like not chasing views, not chasing subscribers, not chasing support. There's no point. Like, just be yourself and the people will come or they will not. So, as far as feeling sorry for people, especially if they're going to put nonsense on display, I don't feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for you. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is.
That makes sense. Well, V, it's been an honor chatting
Oh,
with you,
thank you.
talking with you. I mean, I was looking forward to this all week to be able to talk with you and hear more about your story and your journey. And you you got something special going and keep doing
Thank
what you're
you.
doing. And wish you much success to your 100 pounds that you're going to that that going to knock out the park. Keep sharing your videos. Go to her channel. V, you want to put your channel in the chat so people can go ahead and click on it?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if I can I don't know if I can link it, but I can say, "Hi, I'm here."
Okay, cool. So
And
make
then
sure.
people can click on it that way, but I believe on YouTube, if you're not a moderator, you can't put like links in people's chats and stuff like
Okay.
that. I think. I don't know. That's what I think.
How do you mix by your moderators? You're gonna have to put me on
You
to that.
can you can click on their name
Okay.
and then it'll say to add as moderator
Oh, I didn't know
from
that.
YouTube. Yep, from YouTube.
Oh, from
Mhm.
YouTube. I'm on StreamYard, so that's
Yeah, I don't think you can I don't think you can do it from StreamYard, but if you
okay.
like open a separate tab and go to YouTube during your live
Okay.
chat, you can click on the name and say add as moderator.
Sounds good. So V, thank you again. Really appreciate it. I got to have you back on again when you hit that 100 mark, and we gotta do another live one days. Answer some questions from people. Oh, before I let you go, any question you'd like to ask me? I mean, you do content. Is there any burning question you want to ask me before I let you go?
No, I was actually nervous, believe it or not. Like, no, I know you're not gonna believe me. I know people think I'm crazy. I know, but like, it's different when it's my stream and I get to control it. But I was a little nervous. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not gonna have control of the chat, and I'm like, I'm gonna stutter, and yeah. So I was a little nervous, but thank you for the invite, and I cannot believe you thought I was gonna say that I don't have time for you. I ain't that big time yet.
I'm kind of passive aggressive too. I just
Thank you,
wanted to hear you say
Deez.
that. I just wanted to hear you say that.
Oh my
I'm
God, you're
kind of
so
passive
vain. Oh my
aggressive.
God, that was so vain coded. You just wanted me to stroke your ego a little bit. That's
That's
all.
why we get along so well. Right? I'm just messing with you. Thank you, G, for the super chat. Really
Thank you,
appreciate that.
Jeez.
So I tell y'all what, we're gonna go out to the song and we'll be playing all the commercial, not the commercials, but the comments while we're going out to the song. And if y'all don't mind, if y'all could please turn another video on. Thank you so much, Jen. Really appreciate that.
Thank you,
Dr.
Jen.
Jen is awesome. So if y'all don't mind, giving like a video clip while we dancing to this, really appreciate it. V and I are still gonna be on the screen having some fun while we play the music. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all to life. V, thank you again. You're an amazing person. You're a breath of
Thank
fresh air.
you.
And thank you for being a disruption in this community, or not community, but in this space. I'm learning, V. I'm learning, V. I'm learning, V. So here we go, y'all. We're going to go out to the jam and then we out.
Ready to roll.
Thank you again, Jen.
It's time for the remix. It's time to see that dude parlay Amadeus Lane and DEEZ GLP-1 STREETZ. Known by many as Paul on wheels. We making it do what it does. Letting people know how I feel. Let's roll.
All right, V, you got a groove too, girl.
Yeah, we talking health, talking grind, breaking barriers clean. No excuses on the journey, we stay chasing the dream. Get your mind locked in, set your goals on repeat. We got ups, we got downs, but we still don't miss a beat. In GLP-1 streets, we moving with pride. Hear the trends, hear the wins. Got creators worldwide, we make it do what it does. Never stopping to climb, living better every day, one step at a time. Shout out RMZ, always keeping it real. It's Derry on with the fire, got that GLP-1 feel. Diddy the downsizing diva, simply Taisha in the zone. Losing the grades, bring the truth, steady holding her own. Calamity Jane slide through, yeah, she bringing the flame. Perfectly Pamela moving strong, everybody know her name. Pammy in the mix too, yeah, we shout her out the same. Teddy D and Toby rolling steady on the rise. G's one running balls, baby, locked in on that lifestyle prize. Traces of twine, stay consistent every day. Cookie cheering everybody on in a special way. May and Mindy holding it down from the start. Purple bell flowers slid into them jeans, stood apart. Held to the beat, keeping the conscience tight. Bar pelt at any cost, queen of the streets. That's right, yeah. Chris conquering the scale, yeah, he taking control. Life is shy, glowing steady, body and soul. Reset with honey sub, keeping focus aligned. Grant on his GLP-1 journey review, dropping knowledge every time. Paula doing the thing, staying strong, staying locked in, pushing right along. Just do it, Brit. You got it, smart. Don't quit. It gets better bit by bit. Ain't me losing it steady, keeping a stride. Bound to me in the mix with that purpose and pride. Jen supporting the crew, showing love front row. Carnival muscle bringing discipline to the flow. Keely Eddie from across the sea. I love the pushing through, never quitting the seat. My man G with my rolling life on track. Sweet tea singing while she dropping that slack. Vanity keeping everybody on their toes. Welcome TT to the club, that's how it goes. This toy to review, teaching in the classroom and the streets. Mia doing a thing with that grind on repeat. From the south, Kimmy J, now Renee 1C. Lakeisha on the journey, chasing victory. Those is a Shawnee, steady making play. And Jen in the comments, dropping knowledge every day. And if I missed anybody, just know I love y'all. We'll put you in a remix one day. We'll put you in a remix one day. Yeah. Arjadine, Felicia Murray B, and Joe's cross the sea. Yeah, this GLP-1 movement hits globally. We stay focused on the prize, on the life that we see. Welcome to DEEZ GLP-1 Streets.
Yay,
Thanks, y'all.
I love it.
And I love y'all.
Have a good night.
Vanity, much love to you, girl. Really appreciate all your hard work. Biggest fan. You take care of yourself, all right?
All right. Have a good night, y'all.
Everybody.
Bye.
Don't get in trouble too much today. Everybody stay nice. It's Sunday.